Hi, this is Mick with survivalcommunity.com, and today we're going to be doing the takedown of the AR-15 platform rifle. We have an Armalite with a Daniel Defense rail, but the takedown procedures for pretty much all AR gas impingement operated, that is pretty much the same across the board. The only time it changes a little bit is when you start getting into your piston-driven ARs. But first we're going to take buttstock off. Now these collapsible stocks, you push this way, that's how you get your adjustment. But if you pull up on the other side, the stock comes off. Now to separate your upper and lower receiver, on the side with your bolt catch, you got two pins, you push these in, and on the other side, pull them up, separates your upper and lower. Now on the lower receiver, I would not take apart the trigger housing group unless you are trained to do it, know what you're doing. To clean it and anything else like that, there's no reason to take it apart unless you're replacing it, and I would definitely go see someone that knows what they're doing before you get into that. However, you do got to take out the buffer spring, and you'll see right down here there's another pin with a spring. You push that down and the buffer spring pretty much brings itself out. And then the buffer comes off the spring. Now the buffer spring and the tube itself are very important to maintain clean, because if you haven't used your forward assist button a lot, that's pretty much the most common cause, is that your buffer spring and tube aren't clean. Now onto the upper receiver. Pull the charging handle. Bolt comes right out. We'll get to that later. And then on the side of your charging handle, there's a couple of dipples sticking out the side here. And then down inside your upper receiver, you'll see where these slide in and out, up and down. This is as far as we're going to take this down. There's really no need to take off if you have one of these forward rail systems. There's not really much you can't get with a can of compressed air or an air compressor. You can blow the dust out of there. It should stay pretty clean so long as you're not out tromping through the swamp and submerging the weapon. Now, one of the most important parts to take it down and clean very well, especially in a gas impingement system, is the bolt. This gets very fouled up, and the more fouled up you start shooting with, the faster you're going to start getting problems and failure. First thing you got to do is you got to pull out on the side, there's a little fire pin retaining pin, and then the firing pin falls right out the bottom. Once the firing pin is out, this pin on top, you rotate that 90 degrees, and that comes out, and then that releases your actual bolt from the bolt carrier. Now, this tube here is where the gas comes back for the gas impingement. You got to make sure that that is clean, along with where your bolt sits. If your bolt is not riding right, you're going to have problems with extraction, and also your headspace and your timing can get kind of messed up if you don't clean that out. So that's pretty much the takedown procedures. You get it all cleaned up, and you're ready to put it back together. First, start with the bolt and the bolt carrier. Now, down inside here, you'll see that the pin falls inside of the bolt. The easiest way to remember that is that your extractor needs to be at about the 11 o'clock position. Alright, and that'll make it easiest for you. Pin goes in, rotates 90 degrees. Firing pin feeds through the back. Retaining pin goes back in. Charging handle, once again, find your nipples on the side, slide that in. Make sure that the bolt is in the full extended position, otherwise you're not going to be able to get this to feed in there right. Put that in the charging handle, slides right back together. Buffer inside the buffer spring. Do not forget to do this step. I've seen it happen a number of times where guys will not put the buffer spring back in, and then they'll go to charge the weapon to make sure it works, and all of a sudden their bolt will be stuck in the rear position, and then you've got a mess on your hands trying to get that thing out of there. Alright, so always double check to make sure your buffer spring is in. Then again, you just line up the holes with the pins, lock those back into place, and then once again for the buttstock, just like how we took it off, pull the front of it up, and that'll go right back in there. And that's how you take down a AR platform weapon for cleaning. This is Mick with the Survival Community. Thanks for watching.